Hello, colleagues and comrades near and far. I hope this transmission finds you well. I'm thankful to the organizers of this innovative conference for inviting me to participate, and I feel very fortunate to be presenting alongside so many brilliant scholars whose work I so admire. This presentation arises out of preliminary dissertation fieldwork which I conducted in the Córdoba province of Argentina this June, July, and August, and explores two competing visions for the future of Argentine agriculture, exemplified by two very different personages by the same name, Sofia. I will begin by showing you a PR video for Monsanto Argentina, for which I have provided captions in English. The protagonist of the video is Sofia, the 9 billionth person on planet Earth, born January 1st, 2050.
Te presentamos a Sofía. Ella va a nacer el 1 de enero del año 2050. Ella también será la 9.000ª persona en respirar en este planeta y en Monsanto hace tiempo que trabajamos para cuando llegue ese día. Sofía, como cualquier niño, va a tener la oportunidad de cambiar el mundo. Y para eso, va a necesitar de una nutrición adecuada que la ayude a crecer a medida que da sus primeros pasos, gana su primera carrera y baila su primer lento con Martín. La comida que ella va a comer existirá gracias a las soluciones en las que trabajamos en conjunto con otras organizaciones y que ayudarán a los productores a tener mejores cosechas y a que todos puedan acceder a una alimentación equilibrada. A medida que crezca, Sofía va a necesitar agua para mantenerse hidratada en su primer acto escolar y cuando juega su deporte favorito. Sabemos que el agua es importante no solo para el campo, sino para todos. Por eso es que trabajamos en equipo para desarrollar formas de usar el agua y los recursos naturales de una manera más eficiente. ¡Oh, y una abeja! A Sofía le van a encantar las abejas. Las abejas van a ayudar a que su jardín crezca gracias a los esfuerzos de los apicultores, organizaciones no gubernamentales y otras entidades que trabajan juntas para asegurarse de que nuestras compañeras más pequeñas sobrevivan. Después de todo, será una abeja la que ayude a hacer la comida que disfrutará en su primera cita y la flor que recibirá de Lucas y que le hará ponerse colorada. Y también olvidarse de Martín. Estamos felices de haber trabajado en equipo con tantas organizaciones para asegurar un futuro sustentable para Sofía. Es por eso que hoy y mañana estamos acá para la gente, las plantas y el planeta.
Now, it might seem from watching that commercial as though Monsanto is genuinely committed to promoting sustainable agriculture in Argentina, and that children and honeybees in the South American nation face an uncomplicatedly bright future of socio-ecological health and plenty. But behind this polished piece of PR, there lies a tumultuous, bitter controversy. Now, as an entry point into understanding this controversy, I want to introduce you to another Sofia. Meet Sofia Gatica, mother, environmentalist, winner of the Goldman Environmental Prize, and persistent thorn in the side of Monsanto Argentina. But before I say any more about Sofia Gatica, a little background. Historically, Argentina exported a diverse array of agricultural products, such as beef, wheat, corn, sunflowers, rice, and wine. All of those foods were also consumed domestically, and there were large regions where crops were cultivated exclusively for domestic consumption. Argentina thus produced the majority of the food consumed within her borders, with the exception of a few products such as coffee and hearts of palm. Most of this production was accomplished on small farms on which farmers generally planted one crop a year and alternated it with cattle raising. Since the 1990s, however, Argentina's agricultural landscape has been dramatically transformed by the widespread adoption of genetically modified soy, facilitated by the neoliberal restructuring of the Argentine economy under the administration of President Carlos Menem. Argentina's approval of GM soy in 1996 was a major event for the expansion of the soya frontier in South America at large. Genetically modified crops were at the time still banned in neighboring countries, but following their approval in Argentina, Monsanto's trademarked Roundup Ready soybeans entered Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Uruguay in unmarked white bags, gaining the nickname Soja Maradona, or Maradona soy, after the legendary Argentine football player who could pass through any defense and infamously won a World Cup by breaking the rules. Soya monocultures expanded rapidly, and the southern cone became known as La República Unida de la Soja, the United Republic of Soy. While soya expansion in the region is promoted by powerful actors as a green way of encouraging rural development and energy independence, the soyification development model has created conditions of threatened food sovereignty and environmental crises, such as deforestation, leaching, erosion, soil and water degradation, and chronic flooding. The international workers' movement La Via Campesina estimates that around 200,000 rural families have been forced off their land since the early 90s due to the advancement of the soy frontier in Argentina, leading to a large-scale displacement of rural populations to metastasizing slums on the urban periphery of major cities such as Buenos Aires. Today, about 65% of arable land in Argentina is planted with transgenic soy, and the soy frontier is currently pushing farther and farther into the lowland forest region of the Gran Chaco, which together with the Amazon has long been known as one of the two lungs of the Americas. It is undeniable that this agricultural model, that which has been propagated by Monsanto and other agribusiness firms, has produced an oppressive array of grave socio-ecological problems in Argentina. But perhaps none has been so devastating, and as a result generated such fervent resistance, as the problem of agrochemical contamination. In 1996, the year of legal introduction of transgenics, 821,000 kilograms of glyphosate were applied within Argentina's borders. By 2014, this figure had reached 88 million kilograms. The rapid and dramatic increase in glyphosate use in Argentina has been implicated in a major public health crisis for the nation at large, but particularly the nation's poor. Problems attributed to glyphosate contamination include skin irritations, dizziness, nausea and vomiting, poor mental clarity, kidney malfunction and renal failure, reproductive disorders, spontaneous abortion, and a sharp increase in incidences of cancer, leukemia, and lymphoma. This brings us back to our second Sofia. Sofia Gatica was one of the founding members of Las Madres de Ituzaingó, a women's environmental justice group from a severely contaminated community called Ituzaingó on the outskirts of Córdoba's capital city, which is bordered by fields of transgenic soy. She was spurred to activism when one of her children perished from kidney malformations, a problem that has been linked to glyphosate contamination. Las Madres de Ituzaingó have gained international recognition for their struggle, which began in 2002, for the rights of contaminated children of Ituzaingó and Argentina at large. While the core members of the Madres continue their activism from their original barrio, 4 years ago, Sofia transferred her energies from Ituzaingó to Malvinas, Argentina, another of the most economically depressed areas in the Córdoba province, where Monsanto had begun constructing a seed plant. The $1.5 billion plant was intended to treat seeds for 3.5 million hectares of transgenic maize in Córdoba and the neighboring provinces. However, a coalition of Malvinas residents and activists from around Córdoba organized to halt construction of the plant. They planted themselves firmly in a multi-sided blockade to prevent trucks from moving in and out of the Monsanto property, hindering the construction effort, and also fought the construction of the plant in court on legal grounds. They were met by violent repression from the state, which attempted to remove them on several occasions by force. The blockade was sometimes attacked at night, and activists were harassed with threatening anonymous phone calls, home invasions, and attacks on family members and pets. However, as repression mounted, resistance grew, with people coming from all over Latin America to sustain the blockade. The extraordinary encampment has received its fair share of famous visitors as well. After 4 years of constant occupation and repeated legal challenges from local residents, this August, Monsanto announced their abandonment of the project. They cited insufficient demand for their transgenic maize seeds, but also conceded that the local pressure and blockade had been a factor in the company's decision. The several lawsuits which have been filed against Monsanto over the illegality of the Malvinas construction permit and the environmental impacts of the project are ongoing. As I walked through the length of the blockade with Sofia Gatica this August, squeezing with her through a gap in the razor wire fence onto the abandoned Monsanto property, she pointed out the watchtowers that blockaders had built in trees all along the edge of the property so that they could observe any and all activity on the construction site. The watchtowers had now been abandoned along with the construction, and local teenagers on dirt bikes were dismantling the thwarted steel skeleton for scrap metal. It's been almost 4 years that Monsanto has not been able to put a brick or a wire at this construction site, Sophia told me. The company is leaving the field, but does not yet recognize its defeat in this battle. We remain on alert and continue blocking, waiting to see what will happen. We want the site to now be devoted to organic and sustainable agriculture. The battle that Sofia Gatica referred to here is the battle for the future of Argentine agriculture. The battle for Argentine agriculture in 2050. And although Monsanto has retreated from Malvinas, this battle continues to be fought in streets and boardrooms all over the country. What we are really seeing is a battle between two different modes of knowledge production, which undergird two different modes of agricultural production. On one side, the side of Monsanto, we have developmentalist agriculture, based in an ideology of productivism and technocratic reductionism. On the other side, we have agroecology, based in an ideology of ecological holism and situated knowledges. Monsanto execs, Argentine government officials, and wealthy soy growers all repeatedly invoke developmentalist talking points to emphasize why continual expansion of the export-oriented industrial monoculture-based agricultural model and agricultural biotechnology are necessary for the human race to survive and prosper. They speak of the need to feed the world, despite the fact that the majority of GM soy and corn grown in Argentina is consumed by pigs and chickens in China and made into biofuels consumed in Spain. They speak of endless economic growth and increases in production. And indeed, the soyification model does generate a great deal of revenue. Exports of genetically modified soy are Argentina's main source of foreign currency. But this currency does not trickle down to the everyday people of Argentina, who are living an increasingly precariatized existence under the austerity regime of the newly elected Mauricio Macri. The soil is failing, the people are sick, and the lands are increasingly concentrated in the hands of a few, largely foreign corporations. Sofia Gatica and the swelling ranks of resistors to the current model clamor for a transition to agroecology. They demand an end to extractivist agricultural model that contaminates the domestic population in order to generate economic value and call for una agricultura para alimentar y en las manos del pueblo, an agriculture that nourishes in the hands of the people. Having successfully pushed Monsanto out of Malvinas, Sofia and her comrades are turning their focus to fighting the new seed law, which they call the Le Monsanto de Semillas, or the Monsanto Seed Law, which seeks to strengthen the intellectual property rights over genetic material and restrict the rights of agriculturalists to cultivate and use their own seeds. And Monsanto has turned its attention there as well, working diligently to ensure its policy is, as usual, crafted to ensure the easy transformation of nature into capital. Monsanto may have lost the battle in Malvinas, but they have certainly not yet lost the war. 2016 has seen unprecedented mergers and concentration of capital in agribusiness and agrochemical production, such as the Bayer-Monsanto merger, the ChemChina-Syngenta merger, and the Dow-DuPont merger, all of which spell grim news for small agricultural producers the world over and for global aspirations towards democratization of the food supply. But 2016 has also seen the commencement of the Monsanto Tribunal in The Hague, where the corporation will be tried for crimes against humanity and ecocide, and mounting evidence of the negative environmental and health impacts of glyphosate herbicides. Considering all this, and that the anti-GM agroecology, and campesino movements are not going anywhere, the future of agriculture seems up in the air. As 2016 also saw the quiet passing of the threshold of permanent 400 parts per billion of carbon in the atmosphere, which path will we follow to 2050? Will we adhere to the developmentalist narrative and attempt to feed the world with petroleum-intensive industrial agriculture? Will we further entrench a model which has transformed what was once a solar economy into one saturated in oil, to the point where on average 10 to 15 calories of fossil fuel are consumed for every 1 calorie of food energy produced? Or will we follow the urgent recommendations of the International Panel on Climate Change and make a rapid and dramatic shift towards carbon sequestering, regenerative agriculture, which rebuilds the soil and the health of our communities? Which competing ideological and agricultural model will win out over the other? What will Argentina and the world look like in 2050? We all have a say in that. The struggle is global, it is urgent, and it is now. Thank you.